In a radical approach, President Cyril Ramaphosa is set to reduce the current size of cabinet from a total of 72 people, including deputy ministers, to just 32, with Deputy President David Mabuza retaining his position. Ramaphosa, who was sworn in as president on Saturday the 25th of May 2019, is expected to first publicly outline the newly reformed cabinet structure before announcing his new team. Depending on the progress of what are expected to be tough consultations with the top six and the RNC's allies, the process will be completed by Sunday or Monday. Ramaphosa has articulated his vision to trim down the size of cabinet to make it more effective and less costly to the taxpayers. The number of ministers and deputy ministers went up from 50 under former President Thabo Mbeki to 72 under former President Jacob Zuma. Senior sources said there was still strong resistance to the radical cut, as it had been expected that he would retain 25 full ministers and remove superfluous deputy positions. There is going to be a lot of disappointment. It is understood that even as late as this past weekend, there was lobbying in higher echelons for the cut not to be as deep. All indications are that David Mabuza will still feature as the country's number 2. City Press has learned that Mabuza met with the RNC's Integrity Commission on Friday the 24th of May 2019 and argued his case. In a dramatic move, Mabuza had declined to be sworn in as an MP on Wednesday the 22nd of May 2019, citing the need to first clear his name with the commission. Sources close to the presidency said Mabuza had pressed to meet the Integrity Commission at its earliest convenience, in a bid to clear his name, despite the commission's initial statement that it would only be available to sit with all the implicated candidates between Sunday and Tuesday. This could have ruled Mabuza out of the running for the deputy presidency. There was even speculation in political circles about possible candidates to replace him. On Friday the 24th of May 2019, the committee presented Mabuza with reasons why his name had been flagged as a reputational risk to the RNC, including allegations circulating in the media. He also got the opportunity to present his side. The committee also interviewed RNC chairperson Gwede Mantashe. According to the commission's chairperson, George Mashamba, the remaining 20 candidates would appear for a hearing from Sunday onwards, after which the Integrity Commission would submit its views to Lutuli House. We are meeting with another 20 people, if they come, so we have not yet formulated what we would hand over to the National Executive Committee, he said. Mashamba would not say whether Mabuza's matter was treated as urgent. He said the committee would have met more people on Saturday, if it were not for the inauguration, adding, "We will finish the interaction with all of them first, before reporting back." City Press has learned that in the meeting with the Integrity Commission, Mabuza was informed that the list had been doctored at Lutuli House after it was handed over to the leadership. The commission told him that it could not help him with the answers he was demanding because the original list did not contain his name, as well as the names of a few other leaders. Mabuza, who had thought he was being sabotaged by people who felt betrayed by his 11th-hour switch of Mpumalanga's support to the Ramaphosa camp during the 2017 House Rec Conference, is said to have been very angry on discovering that the action of placing his name on the list had come from within the NC headquarters. He intends to raise the issue at a meeting of the top 6 this weekend and demand answers. City Press heard that the head of Mabuza's bombshell on Wednesday the 22nd of May 2019, Ramaphosa was lobbying hard, behind the scenes, to change his deputy's mind. Ramaphosa even sent Mabuza's close ally to convince him to accept the position of deputy president, according to a person in Mabuza's camp. But Mabuza insisted that he wanted to clear his name first. It was reiterated that in a typical Mabuza style, his actions sought to catapult him as a leader, occupying a moral high ground. Mabuza is believed to be confident that the committee did not have any strong evidence against him. Mabuza would also have been emboldened after Public Protector Bizisiwe Mqwibani cleared him in 2 cases of maladministration dating back to his time as Premier in Mpumalanga, including the provincial government's event management contract for former President Nelson Mandela's memorial service and the purchase of his official vehicles. City Press has seen copies of letters Mabuza sent to ANC Secretary-General A.C. Magashule, in which he outlined his decision not to be sworn in as an MP on Wednesday, the 22nd of May 2019. As you would know, we have throughout the campaign rallied our people around the call to grow South Africa and for the renewal and rekindling of ethical leadership within the ANC and the state, said Mabuza. He said he was wary of being sworn in while a cloud remained over his head, following media reports which the Integrity Commission found him to be among the problematic candidates on the organization's list of members to be deployed to serve in the National Assembly. As leaders, we should be seen to stand by and to support the call to renew the ANC and its call for ethical leadership, said Mabuza, adding that he took the mandate given to the ANC in the recent elections with humility and seriousness. City Press has heard that Mabuza's actions were a continuation of his unity campaign to renew the ANC, which had over the years come under criticism for losing its moral compass. He was also taking the unprecedented move to support efforts to cleanse the ANC of foreign tendencies which sought to erode what had previously galvanized society to rally behind the party. Mabuza sympathizers said the saga around the Integrity Commission's report may have provided Mabuza with the right excuse to leave government office and focus on building his power base in the ANC. Mabuza, according to 3 people close to him, did not want to be the country's deputy president in the first place, after he boosted Ramaphosa's ascendancy at the NAS Recollective Conference in December 2017. His wish was to remain at Lutula House and do the ANC's work, which, to those who know him, would have given him ample time to work on the ground. He would have then been able to build a strong national base to eventually succeed Ramaphosa as president. Mabuza is known for being patient when it comes to planning for positions. In Mpumalanga, he deputized 2 chairpersons, Ndawini Mahlango and Tabang Makwetla, without giving the slightest of hints that he had ambitions to take over the province. He may be repeating the same script this time. But his decision last week caught even his close allies by surprise. In the lead-up to Nasrec, Mabuza advocated unity and said he was not going to accept any leadership position if the ANC was approaching the conference on factionalism. This gambit worked for him because he ended up being a preferred candidate to be deputy president in both Ramaphosa's and Dlamini Zuma's slate. Mabuza insiders said that, at first, most people believed it was Ramaphosa who did not want to appoint Mabuza as his deputy. They were wrong. Mabuza is the one who has been digging in his heels about accepting the position, he said. A government insider said Mabuza was financially secure with the presidential pension benefits, so there were no pressing reasons to return to government. However, if Mabuza was to shut the door on the government move, his plan would be to cede the position to someone who would gain him political influence, and Dlamini Zuma might be the right candidate. KwaZulu-Natal is the ANC's biggest province in terms of membership, but it is not represented in the top 6. So, if Mabuza is seen to be giving up his position in favour of Dlamini Zuma, that would endear him to the provincial base in the next ANC conference. Please check in the description box below for the links to the sources of this report. Thanks for watching. Please comment, like, share and subscribe.